Hey there, it's Sandra here. Thanks for joining me in my garden. Today I'm going to do something a little different. I've decided this year it might be fun to kind of do like a video journal of what's going on in my yard right now. So it is now just the very beginning of April, and I thought I'd show you a few things I've got happening in my yard. So to start things off, the first place we're going to stop at is at my raised garden bed that I've got here. This is in the summertime as a flower bed. I usually plant petunias in it that trail over, but this time of year I have my little greenhouse cold frame that Chris built for me that I cover up this flower bed, and I've already a couple weeks ago seeded some radishes and some lettuce. So let's take a look at how things are growing in here. Oh baby, come on in, check it out. My radishes are doing so good. Now, I have planted radishes for years and years and had very minimal, if any, success at growing them. But these are showing great signs of hope. Look at that beautiful little rose. And look at my lettuces that are growing. This is actually, how do you say it? Musculin? It's mixed lettuce. I think I planted spicy Italian, so it's got some arugula in it, which is kind of fun. And while I'm out here, I'm actually just going to plant another couple of rows of radishes. So all I do is I just take a little hand trowel and make a little row here. Now this ground is kind of dry, so I'm going to water it a little bit before I close it. The wonderful thing about this garden box is it lets me garden a lot earlier because I don't have to worry about the really cold weather we had last week. Didn't hurt anything, obviously. But it doesn't get any rain in it, so I have to water it, it's okay. No big deal. So these are my West Coast Seeds, a French breakfast radish. And they're kind of a nice size pellet. They're pretty easy to seed by hand. I don't have to worry about seeding them too thick. And I literally just drop them in one at a time. I try to space them out so I don't have to thin them too much. You can use seeders, honestly, with radishes. I think it's just as easy to do them by hand. Space them out a little bit. And hopefully these grow, because a couple of my family members like radishes. I'm not one of them, but that's okay. It's always fun to have something that grows early. Radishes don't grow well in warm weather, so they definitely need to be planted early in the year. And I'm just going to give them a little drink in here. And we're going to call it good. Now, the whole point of this little raised garden vegetable bed is, for me, I rip this all out at the end of May and I plant my annual flowers in here. So I don't plant anything in here that isn't going to be mature early in the season. But a little hothouse like that, oh, it's almost going to blow over. A little hothouse cover like this, if you would put it on a little raised bed of some sort, like just in your yard as a garden, you could start, whoa, it almost got me. You could start stuff a whole lot sooner, like beans you could put in sooner so that you would have beans earlier, because this will protect them. Now, if you don't have anybody as handy as me that can make you one of these, send me a message, because Chris, if you live locally, Chris has got some extras made that we have for sale. So if you're interested in one, they're really kind of cool. Now, the ones he's making actually have a hard plastic cover to them, so they're a little more durable. This was an early prototype. Works fantastic. Really, really love it. Yeah, so that's my scoop about my raised bed. So where will we go next? Let's check out some of my flowers that are coming up. We're going to check out my tulips and my daffodils. I think I even have some hyacinths. Let's go for a walk. I don't know if I got around to doing a video about this last year or not, but this was a brand new perennial bed last year. As you can see, it's still full of leaves and debris. This is my current bush, and holy cow, is it ever pushing buds. It's going to be so full of leaves in just a few weeks. But I do have some tulips coming up over there that I planted. Oh, and some over here. I think somebody's been nibbling on these. These look like they got a haircut, which I'm really not very pleased about, but I'm not really sure what else I can do about it either. I have a very useless dog who basically just lays on the porch and chases no rabbits. And I do have some chickens who are absolutely wreaking havoc on some of my flower beds. So I have yet to figure out what I'm going to do with the chickens in my flower bed. But I do have some tulips coming, and I think I've got some daffodils over here. Oh, look, they're even flowering. I love daffodils. They're some of my favorites. Absolutely love them. They're fantastic. And I think I need to trim my hydrangeas a little bit. Hydrangeas, I've had them for a while, but these are a couple new varieties, and so I'm not exactly sure what I'm supposed to do about trimming them. I'm gonna have to do some research on that. My big blue pots, I love these pots. I can't wait to plant them up again. Last year I had begonias in them. And let's head over this way, check out some more flower beds. Oh, my hyacinths are pushing up. I love hyacinths. So hyacinths are one of those things that don't give you a ton of show, but they have such an amazing fragrance, and they've really multiplied. I think, oh, look at, they're coming through there. Now, if I can just keep the darn chickens out of this flower bed, look at the holes. They like make little nests in amongst the mulch. So frustrating. But I kind of like having chickens run around on my lawn, so I'm not really sure what to do about it other than to possibly put up little fences, but that's a whole other story. But yeah, I've got lots of hyacinths coming. These are my irises. Oh my gosh, so many. But I really have to get in here soon and get all these leaves out of here and start pulling weeds, because I'm afraid it's going to be a bit of a trouble. But yeah, it's coming. It's coming. Okay, let's mosey on over to the vegetable garden. You can see Chris's shed in the background here. It's going to get some finishing touches this spring. He's planning to hang the siding on the left side, finish the shakes on the right-hand side, and then brick the bottom part where those windows are and that old staircase is. So that'll be a fun adventure. Here's my chickens. Just hanging out, walking around the lawn, eating whatever they find. Now this is our raspberry patch. So gosh, what was it, Chris? About 4 weeks ago you came in here and cut it all down? Something like that? Okay, so you can see these are the cutoffs of the canes. They're just laying in here. They're fine. These are ever-bearing raspberries, so we cut them back to be quite short. There's probably only about 3 inches sticking out of the ground. I'm not going to harvest them till fall, so that's cool. Did you leave any long?
I see a couple here and there.
Few here and there, and that means we'll get a few berries to eat in the summer months, but for the most part we're gonna have to wait till fall to eat our raspberries. Now here's the fun part. What is this?
Cherry tree.
A cherry tree.
Just a volunteer.
We don't know where it came from. We didn't plant it, but we have a cherry tree. You planted it?
I found it over there and I brought it over here.
Okay.
It has beautiful flowers in the spring, so I kept it.
Okay, we'll see how that goes. It's a cherry tree. Now,
well.
it looks great. Actually, it looks like it's going to be lovely. And over here we have our asparagus patch. Now, I've been checking regularly. I don't see anybody waking up yet. But this whole row, the length of here, everywhere you see these little sticks sticking out, they're asparagus from last year, leftovers. And I would think, what do you think, 3-4 weeks until we get some asparagus?
Yep.
Now that we've had some rain and this warm weather this week, things are going to really start to push. So I will keep you posted, and I'm sure I will have some asparagus recipes to share with you. Now, if you look at my garden, you can see this lovely composted manure pile in the middle of it. We have a couple nephews that have an organic farm just down the road from us, and they brought us a lovely manure spreader full of fertilizer that we're now going to have to work into our garden. I'll make sure I share some video when Chris starts tilling it. We've got an old Alice Chalmers lawn tractor that we acquired last summer. That's one of Chris's favorite new toys that just turns the soil up so nice. And in behind me is our chicken coop, which takes us to our next little adventure. We're going to go into the shed, inside Chris's shed, and see our baby chickens that just arrived today. They're so darn cute. But I gotta be honest, I'm a little nervous to pick them up, which is dumb because they're like this big. I don't know. So last year we got 20 chickens, and we raised them and butchered them ourselves, which
Butchered 21.
yeah, we got 21 and got 22 and butchered 21. I don't know.
Ordered 20, got 21, ate them all.
We had a great ratio of chicken harvest. So thankfully, I did not grow up on a farm. Not really. I grew up on a farm, but not like a traditional like livestock kind of farm. But Chris did. And his parents had animals when he was a kid, and so his mom came over and his dad came over and showed us how to butcher. That, with the help of some YouTube tutorials, we butchered successfully and had beautiful chickens in our freezer for the winter months. I'm not sure if I'll do a video about the actual butchering process because we're not that good at it yet. But we do have some chickens that we're going to have in the coop. They will do a good job of keeping the weeds down. You can see the leftover vines on the fence. Those were morning glories that after we butchered the rest of our chickens, I think we finished butchering end of August-ish. They had kept the weeds down in there, and then after that the morning glories just took off, and like the whole fence was covered in morning glories. It was actually pretty pretty, quite pretty, really pretty. How's that? And we had morning glories all over the place, so that's kind of fun. But yeah, the chickens are too little to be outside. They have to be in the shed in a little box with a heating lamp, so let's go check that out. Okay, here's our little peepers. I'm gonna move the heat lamp because it's really red. Aren't they so cute? Okay, I can't hold the chicken and the heat lamp. I'm gonna put one down. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna grab a chicken now. I'm feeling brave. I'm feeling brave. Aren't they so cute? Just the sweetest little thing. We got a different kind this year. I can't remember what kind we got. These are a slower growing kind, so I'm excited to see how different they look, because last year's chickens were super ugly. Once they got big, they were white and just they were not nice looking chickens. They were tasty, but I have high hopes for these guys that maybe they'll be prettier. If not, oh well, I'm sure they'll also taste just fine. Here you go, little guy. Run free. So this is their heat lamp. We keep them in here for a few weeks. They get a bigger box as they get bigger. So this is funny. You got 22 chickens today you picked up?
Yeah.
This is how big the box is that they come home in. It's like almost the size of an egg carton. It's not much bigger than that. We got 22 chickens come home in this little box today, all little air holes. I think that's so darn sweet. And then we put them into a bigger cardboard box, and then we'll put them into a bigger cardboard box. And
we'll put them in the freezer.
Not right away. Eventually they'll go outside and go in that pen outside so they can run around outside and live their best chicken life, and then they'll go in the freezer. But yeah, those are our chickens. We don't talk about the freezer too loud when they're little. Okay, see you guys. Have a good night. And one more thing I want to show you in the shed that I'm really so excited about, and that's our hydroponics lab. Let's go over this way. So this is our hydroponics lab. This is actually a little unit that my brother had made that used to be in the greenhouse that I work at, but he didn't have a spot for it this winter, so I kind of adopted it for a season to see how we liked it. This is a south-facing garage door, so it gets light all day long. So we put these guys in here, gosh, I don't know, 2 months ago? What do you think?
Started in the kitchen, maybe.
I started them in the kitchen first of all. So let me explain. There's a few different things going on here. But these guys are growing in like little oasis blocks that we got to start seeds in. So I started the seeds in these blocks inside a little clamshell in the kitchen. And they were probably in there for 2 or 3 weeks anyways, till they got big enough. And then we bring them out here and plop them in there. These are actually heads of lettuce that we got from the grocery store. You know, you buy that living lettuce. And we just ate the lettuce, and then we put the root ball in the water, and we got more lettuce. So that's a pretty good investment at the grocery store lettuce. So that's cool. And basically what it is it's a little fish pump, like a pond pump, that we got at, I think, Princess Auto or somewhere like that. It's an inexpensive pump, like I would say less than $40, $30? $10. Okay, Chris is a bargain hunter. He got the $10 pump. And it's essentially just hooked up to a garden hose, goes in one end, it's gravity fed, it runs out the other end. It's just water and fertilizer, folks. Pretty straightforward. Now, I love J.R. Peters fertilizers, so I've got a tomato fertilizer, like it's a vegetable fertilizer that I pop some in the water. It works awesome. The other things I'm kind of excited about, this is my Mandevilla vine that was so pretty on my front door last year, and I cut it way back. And I stuck it in my basement and ignored it for 6 months. And then I brought it out, and look at all the new growth that's coming. It's going to be awesome. I'm trying to decide if I'm going to be able to fit anything else in the middle. Last year I had a baby wing begonia in there. I'm kind of doubtful that I'm going to get anything else in there this year. It might just be my Mandevilla vines, which will be super pretty. They were a really, really nice shade of pink, so that's cool. And last thing I'm going to show you in the shed, my lemon tree. I don't know why I have a lemon tree. We don't particularly love lemons, but it's kind of a fun thing to have. So when we were ordering some plants in at the greenhouse, I may have snuck a lemon tree on the order. We don't sell them there, but I wanted one, and so now we have a lemon tree. But look at all the little lemons growing. I'm gonna have to figure out lemonade. I don't know. I'm gonna have to make something with all these lemons because we have a bountiful crop that's growing. And once it gets warmer out, that I don't have to worry about frost, I'm gonna get all the sawdust off of him because this is also Chris's woodworking shop. And I'm gonna take him outside and put him on the porch along with all my other plants. So yeah, that's pretty much what's going on this coming weeks in our yard. I will try to do some updates with as things progress throughout the year, and I'm sure I'll have some more tutorials for you. But that's kind of it for now, folks. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great night.